Hi, it's Heather from mommypotamus.com. Today I'm going to show you a super quick way to make healthy mayonnaise at home. Now, I've been making mayonnaise for years, but for the longest time I was doing it in my blender. And I used to pour in the oil like super slow, but if I accidentally poured it in too fast, it would like turn into this gloppy mess, and I would either try to save it by adding more egg yolks, or I had to turn it into salad dressing and call it a day. So I eventually learned this technique using an immersion blender, and it works so much better, it's so much more reliable, and it's so much faster. So I'm just gonna walk you through the process, but first we probably should talk about ingredients. So you're gonna want to have 3 egg yolks at room temperature. These came from my barn, so they're perfect. And you'll also want a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a teaspoon of mustard. I like Dijon, you can use whatever you like. 2 teaspoons of honey, and a half a teaspoon of sea salt. And of course you're gonna want your oil too. I typically use a 50-50 blend of coconut oil and olive oil. And I don't use the extra virgin typically in this recipe. I use like speller press that doesn't have quite the strong flavor that the extra virgin does. But you can use whatever you like. Another option is avocado oil, that works well too. So to get started, what you're gonna want to do is separate out your egg yolks, and you'll wanna place them in a container that you don't want it to be super wide. You want it to be maybe not too narrow. You need to be able to fit the blender in, but a nice fit for your blender. So that's what we're gonna start doing. Next, you're gonna add your apple cider vinegar. Give it a good shake if you're using raw so that some of the mother mixes in. And then you're gonna wanna add your mustard. This is the first time in a long time that I've actually used measurements. Usually I just kind of estimate, so this feels funny. And then you're going to want to add your honey. It's kind of difficult to get out. It's not super pourable, so help it with my fingers. You didn't see that. Okay, and then you're gonna wanna add a little bit of salt. This is 1/4 of a teaspoon, so I'm gonna do it twice to make it 1/2 a teaspoon. And then, I'm gonna see if I can move this, you guys can see. You're gonna want to pour the oil over. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the next step in just a minute, but I'm gonna explain it first because this is gonna be on and making some noise. What you're gonna wanna do is take your immersion blender, put it all the way at the bottom of the cup, and give it a good pulse. And what you're wanting to do is take those egg yolks and mix them with just a little bit of the oil that's at the bottom. And you're trying to create an immersion. And that's where the oil and the water actually mix, sort of. And then as it begins to thicken, you can go ahead and begin to pull the immersion blender up, and you'll begin, so it'll thicken as you go up, and then you can sort of pulse it up and down to get it all mixed together just right. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So there you go. Homemade mayonnaise mixed up in about 60 seconds. This will thicken a little bit in the fridge, but it won't become solid unless you use 100% coconut oil. Totally learned that the hard way. It's really, really good with chicken salad over hamburgers. You can use it to make Chipotle mayonnaise. There's just so much you can do with it. It's very versatile and so easy to make. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions for videos, future videos, please leave them in the comments.